Hey everybody, CryptoTrav here, and today I have something special for you. For the past week, every day someone has been telling me that AMPL is the new AMPL. Yesterday, AMPL released their code. Now, I can conclusively say that I will never be investing in it. With today's video, we're going to be analyzing Ampleforth's on-chain data to see what has been going on with the token over the last few days. Looking at Ampleforth on CoinGecko, we can see that since August 5th, the coin has been steadily losing value until August 9th. It was at a high of 90 cents and a low of 54 cents during this period. We will be investigating this bleed as well as the pump to see what's been going on with the token. For those of you new to my video, I've been collecting on-chain data for the past several days. There are a total of 26,000 wallet addresses that I collected so far. My address count is greater than the count on Etherscan because a lot of the wallets have been deleting the AMPL contract from their wallet after selling the token. For example, this address was a major holder of AMPL, but during the period of this analysis does not hold any. I'm a bit surprised that 6,000 wallet holders have gone through the pain of deleting the contract from their wallet, so let's take a look at this on Etherscan and see if we can find anything. We can see that this person now only holds BLT, GEM, and KIC. They sold their AMPL 10 days ago. So let's follow the money. Looks like it went to another address. This could go on for hours. Bought a token called Gandhiji. Seems like a scam coin. Actually, this whole transaction seems like a scam to me, so I'm going to stop this right now. So, back to the analysis. We're going to be looking at two metrics today: the change in wallets and the change in AMPLs in those wallets. This top table shows how many AMPLs were held by each wallet segment by day. The four segments are the whales, high rollers, iPhone users, and crap shooters. They're defined by the number of AMPLs they hold. At first glance, we can see that there has been mostly a downtrend in the number of wallets. For whales, the decrease has been from 152 to 117 over the course of 5 days. A similar decrease in the number of high rollers. In fact, crap shooters are the only ones who increased the wallet numbers. This sentiment is more clearly visible on the percent change table. Note that when looking at the sold percent, a negative percent is good and a positive percent is bad. Along with looking at the change, we also want to look at the inter-segment movement. We can see this in the pivot table down here. For example, looking at the 152 whales on August 5th, 27 of them sold outright, 99 continued to hold, 21 downsized to being high rollers. During this period, only 14 whales bought in, and we can consistently see that there has been a greater outflow compared to inflow for most categories except for the crap shooters. Using the pivot table, we can create two interesting metrics. The first one is percent difference. We can see that there's a 23% decline in the number of whales between August 5th and August 12th, a slightly greater decline in high rollers, 14.5% in iPhone users, and an increase of 5.5% by crap shooters. The second ratio that we can use is the buy to sell ratio. On the buy sell ratio, we can see how many whales bought in compared to how many whales sold. So we can see nearly twice as many sold compared to those that bought in. Similar for high rollers, a little less for iPhone users, and we have a positive ratio for the crap shooters. Now, while wallet counts is an interesting indicator, I don't think it tells us enough compared to the number of AMPLs held by each category, so we're going to switch over to that now. When looking at the change in AMPLs by wallet, the methodology gets a little more interesting. We want to factor in both the rebase and the liquidity pool. Now, imagine you had an analyst trading your AMPLs for you. You checked your account yesterday and you had 100 AMPLs. Now you check back in today and you want to figure out how many AMPLs were sold or bought. But in this case, you cannot simply deduct yesterday's number from today's. you need to adjust for the rebase and adjust for the amount that was either added or removed from the liquidity pool. This is especially important for Ample because of the large liquidity pool. After those adjustments, we can see that the holdings are actually in a much better shape than last week. August 7th and 8th, we saw bleeding across the board. All segments were selling, and we were bottoming down. August 8th and 9th, we touched somewhere around 55 cents. And then we saw buying going on from 11th to 12th. This is a lot more positive from the wallet addresses. It shows us that those that are holding Ample are actually increasing their position. Now, I wanted to take a second to address what we're seeing on August 10th. Modeling the data takes a lot of assumptions going in. We need to figure out what percent of the liquidity pool is owned by what segment, and we need to also figure out how much of the liquidity pool is owned by the foundation. So there are two assumptions there, and I worked with the best data I had. I believe what's going on for August 10th is that we probably had one very large seller, and that person is pulling down all the others. However, that's an assumption that goes into the data. It's good to see that the number of amples in each wallet, we're seeing more positive news compared to what we saw in the number of wallets. We have three key takeaways from our on-chain data analysis today. The first, we've had a period of gradual decline because of selling across all segments. Two, we've seen positive momentum over the last few days. And three, the current holders continue to buy more and invest in AMPL during dips. Let's take a minute to revisit the AMPL history workbook. With today's negative rebase, we'll be tied for the third longest negative rebase streak in history, with the longest being 102 days and the second longest being 12 days. The supply is now 631 million tokens. Last time I had projected what I thought the supply would be based on the rebase rate we were seeing. It would have been around 649 million, so not too far off. We have seen the negative rebases intensify over the last few days, in my opinion. This is tapering off. I do not think we will go below 500 million in supply. That would be the bottom line. However, last time we visited this example of different dates when someone could have potentially bought into AMPL with $1,000, we can see that in most cases, when you've held through at least one positive rebase run, you end up with significant positive value. Now, before the end, I wanted to share an exciting venture that I'm part of. AmpleSense is a community space for everything that has to do with Ample. There'll be educational material, there'll be a data hub where a lot of my videos and a lot of the underlying data will be housed. There'll be a forum where we can discuss ideas about Ampleforth with each other. I hope everyone here grows to become a collaborative member of the AmpleSense community. For now, we're having great discussions on our Telegram channel. Please join and come and say hi to me.